on YouTube, and he would go out with a vacuum. I think it's called a sledger. And then I seen one with a vacuum. Basically, they put it on the blowing mode. Excuse me. Now, I forget how it could work. It could work probably two ways. Either the classified material is placed into the vacuum, and then the vacuum will then siphon out the lighter material with the blowing out option. That, or it's just the vacuum and all the material going into it and the lighter stuff going out of it. I forget exactly how it works, but it has to be the right equivalency for the light material to flow out of it and the heavies to remain within it. So different classifications of material would have to be tested to see and evaluated to see what works and what doesn't. And that would be dependent upon how much material remained within the vacuum. And if there's a lot of heavies, the lighter stuff got out of it, flowed out of it, then you have yourself a pretty powerful machine. And that could run all day long. But you know, I was honestly looking around because I donated my car. To veterans, the Heroes program, and it was a white Lincoln 2025 that I purchased in Redding, California before moving back out here to Riverside. And so I've been riding my bike. Well, it's not my bike, it's my brother's bike. But I was looking at the rims of the vehicles for every single car. That's a lot of fucking metal. So these people were not fucking mining gold. I don't think they were. I think they had magnets, and they were like sluicing out all the iron. Because I've actually seen this state-of-the-art machine. It was a cylinder, and all around inside of the cylinder were powerful magnets, big ass magnets, and all it did was spin around, and it was spinning the opposite direction. It was spinning, as it was spinning clockwise, the material was falling. Yeah, it was falling right on it. But the non-magnetized material, okay, I remember now. So both, well, just the mixture of magnetized and non-magnetized material went over the cylinder. So it flowed in the same direction. But as it went down, like a waterfall, all the non-magnetic dirt fell, while the magnetic material stayed on the cylinder. But right before it came back up, there's like a metal that's there, like a humongous blade, kind of like the roly-polies for asphalt. It compresses the asphalt down and it smooths it out. At the very top of those rims, those cylinder rims, there's like this razor thing, and any asphalt that gets stuck to the rims, the wheels, the cylinder, basically just comes right off. So anyway, it was doing something like that, and they just kept feeding it. They just kept feeding it and feeding it. And obviously they take that, they melt it down, they refine it, and I'm sure there's more to that than we know, because I mean, it's all to a science. And there's obviously different layers at different temperatures, but we're just focusing on iron, not anything else. So think about it. That's a whole lot of fucking iron. Every fucking vehicle, every fucking rim. Look at that. Think about how heavy rims are. And you guys should watch the movie, the documentary is called The Backbone of America. It's on YouTube. I think History Channel. But just look up The Backbone of America. And they were using the iron back in the day to build a bunch of buildings and to reinforce engineering structures, like bridges, like buildings, like concrete work. It requires the framing at the very bottom. If the concrete cracks, it will hold it in place because of the iron. So, I think a lot of people, I don't think anyone deceived anyone. I don't think that. I just believe that a lot of people were misinformed. Just like today, in today's time and age, a lot of people are misinformed. People are just thinking about what other people talk about, what they are exposed to. There's a bunch of rare earth elements. There's probably way better solutions than what I'm stating or what I have stated. Okay, stated. And there's probably better ways, methods, approaches, whatever, to distill water. So if that's the case, then, you people out there can just easily disregard everything and anything I just said. It's fine. I don't care. But it was just on my mind. And to me, speaking about it, talking about it, is almost like me building it, me manufacturing it and testing it out without actually building anything at all, because I don't have the money for it to begin with. And a lot of people collect raw elements and they recycle them. Like, a lot of you probably are familiar with the most popular ones, which are plastic, like plastic bottles, aluminum cans, metal, cardboard, more like rare ones are like extracting the gold plating from electronics. But even there, if you go into it deeper, there's a bunch of electronic components with all these throwaways. People consider it trash, but it's not really trash. But are you going to take the time to filter everything? Okay, are you? It takes work, but it's pretty much worth it if you can make money off of it. And it's just getting that one element in its raw form and then recycling it, taking it to the recycling centers. Some people actually do that with solubles, minute, micronic, microscopic elements within water. soluble within water, and they extract that from the water. So, like these generators, they're probably doing more than what they're telling the general public. That's for sure. Because at the end of the day, they get a whole lump of shit. But is it really shit? Even when we humans take a shit, our cats, our dogs, it might stink. But think about it. Even if you were to eat nothing but veggies and fruit, that's all it is in your poop. It's nothing but vitamins, nutrients that can go back into your garden. But a lot of you are like, ugh, that's disgusting. But it's not. Trust me, it's not. Because the plant is like us. It's a picky nutrient absorber. It's a picky eater, I think. Just like us. We don't want to eat disgusting stuff. We only want to eat good stuff, I think. Anyways, that's just what I'm guessing. So like, I wasn't even thinking about not even taking a shit in the toilet anymore. Fuck that. Or even a piss in the toilet. I want to reintroduce that to the ground. Because we spend a lot of money on the food. For us just to throw it away like that. $10 a plate? $20 a plate? Fuck that. Some of you are spending like $100 a plate. No, it's all about recycling. We have to learn how to become more scavengers. Like all these free items that people give away on Facebook and Craigslist. How do we know other people are not? Like especially the developers. Like how do we know that they're not taking all the good stuff before the rest of the community? I mean, that's a cash cow for them. I mean, that's what I would do if I was one of the developers. Hey, whenever someone gives away a car, a boat, a house, like let me know about it. Thank you, AI. Thank you. Pretty soon, shit, I won't even have to work. The computer, AI, will be doing all the hard work for me. and I'll just be focusing on what I always focused on. But I will be hopefully 100 times stronger, more effective, making more of an impact upon people's lives. Another one is glass bottles. I think glass can be remelted because all it is sand. So there's a lot of people in that business as well. And it's that type of temperature that we want to get the water for the water distiller type of thing. And a good conductor or retainer of that type of heat is concrete, like smoldering iron. The temperature needs to get, I think, way up there, like 5,000 degrees. But I could be wrong. It could be less than that. I don't know. I don't know the number. But it's all on the internet. But they cap it off. And then there's a heat source. And I actually was watching one. Someone built like this chimney. It was made out of like dirt to retain the heat. So it acted like insulation. So if somehow we can get the sun to heat up the water, but for that heat not to become like expelled, like for that heat to come out, then we will be able to maximize the water distilling process by a huge higher percentage. I'm thinking that if it's 100% concealed, and as so the cold water would have to be lower than the hot water at all times. because because heat rises to the top, but cold is at the bottom. So in order for this to work, even if it's separated, even if it's far away, it's like the water level. The cold water has to be lower than the hot water level, or else there's going to be an equivalency, an even table in that. It shouldn't be like that. It needs to be dropped lower than the water that we're heating up. That's just what I'm guessing. That way, that'll give the water ample time, like enough time to cool down, and that heat not to escape, but be introduced to the system. And if the pressure starts building up, then there could be chambers that could open up in the cool side section of the water that has been distilled. That way, the heat can stay where it's at, but basically it will allow the system to send more water to the cooler section, and then that will basically repeat itself. And as it gets cooler and cooler outside, then the cold water can be drained out to prevent the machine from cooling like rapidly. We would want the hot water to work overnight. Any cold water will need to be immediately flushed out. Probably with a pressure, kind of like a pressure cooker, something like that. So no cold air goes into it. It could be either like semi trucks with a little flap that goes up, then it closes. It could be like that, or it could be kind of like the ping pong table. You know those arcade tables? We go like that. It has that rubber, the spring. When you let go, it sends a little ball in the machine and you just start tapping like a little dumbass. Like that. So I could have something like that. But the only way that will work is if the water pressure gets to a certain weight, then it will release and drop that weight to a certain level, and then it will just go back up. If it reaches over that capacity of weight, then it'll open up again until it will be strong enough to go back up. Either way, it will work. But honestly, that's all I can really think of. And then, what strikes me as odd is all these Americans, literally, but more so their actions. Well, everyone's actions are weird. But I'm talking about their recycling habits. They don't have any recycling habits whatsoever. Sad. It's a shame. I mean, we're over here building. We're not building pyramids. We're building like hills, mountains of waste. Like, that's not very wise. Now is it? But we swear up and down like we're the wisest people on earth. I don't know if you people disgust me the most or if I disgust myself. Sometimes I get confused by the two. But whatever. I don't care. No one else cares. Whatever. The rest of the people say whatever. I guess the feeling's mutual. So, there's nothing else to say. I'll just end this video now.